Bonjour, hi, and welcome to my photography channel. I'm Emily, I'm an OM system ambassador, and I post videos every Sundays about photography gear, tips and tricks. For this week's video, I'm going to do an unboxing of the OM-1. It's my second body and I received it as I was traveling abroad. And I am actually still waiting on the extra batteries and charger, but for now, I managed to work without it. I do use two bodies because I shoot professionally. And after the unboxing, I'm going to show you my custom C1, C2, C3 and C4 for birds in flight, wildlife, macro and night photography. So let's get started. First, let's unbox this. I already have one OM-1, but it still feels the same. It's really cool to unbox a new camera. I don't know why, it's like Christmas. So I like the way they do it. It's kind of like you unfold it and then here we go. You have your cable, and that's the cable that you will use. It's a USB-C to USB-C. So from your camera to your computer. So do not lose it. You want to use their cable. That's your warranty. Make sure that you go on the Get Olympus website and register your camera under your name. All my OM system, all my Olympus are registered, and so if I have any problem, I know that I can go and check the warranty. Then you will find your basic manual. Make sure that if you're not familiar with Olympus OM system, make sure that you take a look at it before you start your camera. And also, that's not the manual that you will need to get to know your camera by heart. You need to go on the website, you need to download the manual, and you need to spend time reading your manual so you know how your camera works. And trust me, you might have to read that manual several times. I know I always, go back to my manual. It is actually on my computer. I have a folder for OM system, and so I can go back to my menu, and it's also on my iPad. I always have, things that I might not know that I might want to check. After that, so you open that little extra cardboard sleeve, and you've got two things. On the left side, you have a small box, and here you will find a little cloth here. This is for your HDMI cable. If you are, filming, and if you're using a mini HDMI, for example, you want to make sure that you're not going to bump your camera, and then you might break your cable, or worse, break your camera. So this is really, really useful. And then you have that little flash. I actually really like that flash. I'm so glad they added the flash, that little flashback. It's great. I use it from time to time. And this goes with the flash. And then you have some extra goodies. So an extra cable. This one for this piece. If you want to keep everything together. And then you have a camera strap. And oh yes, this is kind of important. That is to charge your camera. You just, you use this and then you charge it. If you have an external charger, you can also plug this directly on your chargers, especially if you need to charge your camera on the go. If you don't have an extra set of batteries, that's going to be useful to have an external charger instead of this. And then the last thing that is in the box is your battery. Yes, we will need it because you will need to first charge it. And that's your camera here in the little black box. Super well wrapped. This is so well organized. Everything fits so well. I just really like the way OM system package the OM-1. I think it's really, really nice. And here is your OM-1. Here we go. Beautiful. Look at this. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the finishes that they use. It's a really, really nice camera. So right now, let's number one, find our batteries, put the batteries in, very, very simple. You know, here, clicks, I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna put my batteries and then I'm gonna charge it. And once my camera will be charged, what I will do is I will add right here, I would add my memory cards, 2 memory cards, and then you can start playing with it. But the first thing you should do is connect it to your computer, open the workspace, the OM workspace, and make sure that you have the latest Fireworm. There's been a couple of updates. I know when I came back from my trip to France, I updated my OM-1. So this one I'm going to update. Make sure that all your lenses are also updated. I had to update my 12 to 100. So what I do is I put on my lenses and I check that they're updated. So let's do this. So once you're on the OM workspace, you want to make sure that you click on this little icon. It looks like a camera and some arrows turning around it. So I plugged my OM-1 to my computer. I'm going to click on this little camera. It's going to launch the digital camera updater. And it says, please connect your camera to get started. So you want to turn it on, and then you want to press on OK, which is the storage. So you should see it on your camera. It says storage, and now it's telling me on updating. It's giving me a couple of things that I should read, and then I click on next because I know I can trust OM system. Do not disconnect the camera from the computer. Okay. Do not disconnect. So again, I press on storage. That should have happened, but maybe I needed to charge my battery a little bit more. So here I press on OK again. Just basically follow the instructions that are on your screen. And here you can see it's telling me, oh, okay, your OM-1, the current version is 1.0, but the newer version is 1.1. So I'm going to click on update. And then it says, once the firmware is updated, it cannot be returned to the previous version. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. Then you have the software license agreement. Press yes. And then okay. And here we go. It's doing its thing. So it's updating. It's usually pretty fast, but sometimes if you have settings, like in my other OM-1, it took a little longer, I feel like, but this is going pretty fast. So we'll see when it's going to be at 100%, so in a few seconds. Here we go. One thing is you don't want to disconnect in between, so just make sure that you don't touch any of those cables, and let it update. So here it is. Once OK appears on the camera monitor, you want to turn the camera off and on, and then you click on confirm that update is completed. So you click on it, and then you're going to click on the second one as well. So yes, and then camera has been turned off and on and back again. So here it is, and now my camera is updated. Yay, it's like having a new camera, 2-time new camera, very exciting. So now that my camera is charged, I'm wanting to take a minute to talk to you about my settings. C1, C2, C3, C4, I like to customize them. And now that I've spent quite a lot of time with the OM-1, I feel like I have a good idea of what I want for the C1, C2, C3. So what I do is C1, that's for birds in flight. C2 is for wildlife. C3 is for macro, and then C4 is for night photography. If you are not sure about how to customize C1, C2, C3, C4, I'm going to put a link below with one of my videos in which I explain how to do this. It's pretty simple, so if you're not sure, just take a look. So if I turn to C1 first, here we go. This is for birds in flight. My starting point for the shutter speed is 1250. I usually shoot wide open, so whatever lens you have, just wide open, and auto ISO. I have all my points here, so don't just do, you could do, I guess, large, but what's recommended is all, and then the CAF, and here I have sequential. Sometimes I like silent sequential, depending on the bird, but here birds in flight, just sequential. And I shoot raw, and here this is the setting that I have saved. So for all my C1, C2, C3, C4, so save to both cards, applying same setting. So even if one card is full, then the other one can still be saved. Most of the time I have the same card, but you know, sometimes I might have one that has more memory than the other. So that's why I have it with those settings. Also very here I do ESP, so my camera gives me a basic exposure using all the parameters. And here in the clock function, I made some changes. So here, this one, I set to AF target point and AF target mode, so I can switch if I decide that I don't want all the AF point on. This I kept as recording, then ISO doesn't change, AF on doesn't change, and here my AEL it's set as subject detection. So that's how I just have to, you know, click on this button, and then I switch to bird detection. And then this one I move to ND. And that's it. That's basically the changes that I've done for C1. Now let's go for C2. C2 is basically wildlife setting. So very similar, but my starting point is 500 frames per second. I shoot again one wide open. I do a single point here, and I do CAF, and here I have it on silent. And because I do a one point, here I have it on spot metering. So I might change from C1, C2 when I do bird in flight, and I need to do a quick change with the one point, and knowing that it's going to be spot metering. And the clock, the rest is the same settings as I had for C1. Now C3 is a little bit different. So C3, that's for my macro setting. So I have 1/125 of a second because I use a flash, and then I have f7.1. That's my starting point. I probably will go up or down depending on my subject. And then my ISO, I keep it at 200. And auto white balance. So here I do manual settings because that's just how I shoot macro. I balance back and forth, and so I don't do most of the time. I don't let my camera do the focusing for me, and I do one shot. You could do several if you want to. You could change that and adapt it for your flash, but I just like one photo, and I do the spot metering, face off. And here it's a bit different. So in the clog, this is set to focus bracketing, and then the AEL is set to focus stacking. So those are things that I do need when I shoot macro, and this one is set as live view mode, so I can find my subject and focus appropriately because I'm focusing manually. But if all of a sudden I don't want to focus manually, you can see the AF on is on, and you need to make sure that it's on when you are in manual mode. So I'll post a link to a video below where I explain how to do this, how to have the AF on work when you are in manual setting. And that's it for my macro setting. And the C4 is for night photography, so 15 seconds, wide open again, and the ISO is 3200. And the white balance, I switched it to 3600K for best results. And then the target mode is large because that's what works with the Starry Sky AF, and then a single shot, and metering is ESP again. So that's it, those are my settings. Now, I hope this video was informative. Please feel free to go and check my previous videos, and do not hesitate to post a comment or a request below. And I want to thank you so much again for all of you who have subscribed and encouraged me. I really, really appreciate. And if you are a new subscriber, then make sure that you click on the subscribe button, you hit the bell so you're notified when my videos are coming out. It really, really helps my channel. So thank you so much again. And I am looking forward to talking about the OM-1 and to talk about what your custom settings are, if you have any. Just please don't hesitate, post your comments below, and until then, I will see you next week. Au revoir!